Good afternoon. I almost said morning. Good afternoon. I am welcome to BS Your Way podcast show. We're doing a live today, so this is so much fun. I actually keep avoiding doing lives. I'm like, I really look forward to like doing Q&A with people, but then to get myself going and started on doing my live, it's have to get my resistance out of me because I have huge resistance to going live for whatever reason. I don't know. Anyway, but we're overcoming this and we're doing this today. This is kind of spontaneous. I realized that I thought I had it planned out what I was going to do today, and it turns out I didn't. So a few minutes before the meeting, I was like, okay, what are we doing? Okay, we'll do this. I had some notes, and anyway, here we go. So today I've actually been wanting to do this podcast for a while. We are the sum of all of our choices. So every choice you've ever made in your entire life, you are the sum of those choices. So wherever your life is at right now, and whatever it is you're doing right now, or you're choosing right now, you are the sum of your life's choices. And um I was sitting in church and somebody was giving a talk and they had said that line and it just struck me and I was just like, oh my gosh. And so it made me think like, well, what kind of choices do I want to make right now and for the rest of my life? Oh, first of all, get to the root of it. Like, what do I want to be? Who do I want to be? What do I want to be doing? What do I want to accomplish? What are the things that lights me up? What are the things in life that are worth fighting for me? What does that mean for me? Like the root question is there. And that's what we have to ask ourselves first before we can continue. Because right now we've already made choices. You're where you're at and right now, and all your choices and any choice you've ever made. So we don't want to look back and we don't want to be like, oh, I regret this and I regret that and I regret that. And I wish that this would have happened when I was a kid instead of what happened when I was a kid, or whatever trauma you've been through. It doesn't matter. No, you're here right now. And all of the things that have ever happened are for your growth and for your experience. So, and as we learn, and we shouldn't be so critical of ourselves. We make decisions based upon what we knew at that time, right? So, when you make decisions based on what you know, I mean, that's all you have, right? And when you make a decision and then things maybe go wrong or maybe they go right, you learn from it either way. So no matter what, it's beneficial. So we want to regret really nothing. Like there's mistakes I've made in my life where like, oh, and sometimes when those moments pop back in my head, I'm like, ew, I cringe at it. And I'm like, oh my goodness. But without that experience, I wouldn't have made better decisions in the future that really benefited me. You know what I mean? Like, so we need to stop living in the past and regretting and wishing. Instead, we need to start living and doing and improving and growing right now where we're at. So here's the question that I want y'all to ponder. What is it in life that you want? What is it in life that you would like to accomplish? What is it in life that um yeah, what do you want? What do you want? Because that will determine your next move, your choices. So, for instance, if I want to be able to give my family, you know, a good life or the ability to be really generous with others, whether it be through money or through my time, whatever that is, then I want to make choices such as, building a business or whatever, like figure out what I'm passionate about. Like right now I'm podcasting, right? So I'm passionate about like the subjects I talk about, right? I'm passionate about helping others. And so I'm hoping that this will end up being a two-way thing. That one, it's going to bless my family financially so that I can give my kids a beautiful life and that we can lighten our stress load because yeah, yes. And also in turn, I'm also not only am I being blessed financially, that I'm blessing others and helping others with their lives and their improvement. And a third bonus to that is when we have enough income, we are able to give freely to those who are in need. And I love, ever since I was a teenager, I love, I love giving. Even when I didn't have much to give, I love giving. And my husband is the same way. We would be so poor. We were so poor when we lived in San Diego, so poor that we that we relied on my darling mother-in-law and father-in-law for providing gas for us, and they paid half of our rent. And sometimes we get caught in a spot and we're like, we need groceries. Spot us for groceries. We were so poor. But if my husband had an extra $5 in his wallet and there was a homeless man on the street, even if we couldn't afford it, he just handed it to them. And I think that's so beautiful. And that's how, I want to be able to just give. And these are things that I want. So I asked myself, okay, what am I going to do to get there? Let's say you want to lose weight. How many of us want to lose weight? Probably about 90% of them of the population right now. We all want something, right? What am I going to do? What choices am I going to make, right? So in the whole losing weight thing, if I, or even just me, like I could be just sitting on a couch, watching My Little Pony series for the fourth time in a row and not do nothing. No money's going to just flow to me for doing that. I actually have to take an action. So I have the choice to sit down and watch TV, or I have the choice to actually go do something for 15, 20 minutes to an hour that will actually make a difference in progressing the possibility of income coming in, right? So like my husband and I, we make a salve and we sell it on Amazon, and also it's in a couple of stores. Currently, right now, it's not making a lot of money, but our hope is it'll start to make a ton of money. And we know that it has the potential. But currently, right now, our choices are going other places. For instance, like my husband and I were working on this other project, and also we have so much going on. So it's and me personally. So like since my husband's at work all day, it's usually up to me to be able to get the salve made. And we've needed more salve made for like a month, and I haven't gotten to it because I keep making different choices, whether it's to, you know, well, I do need to do this paperwork, so I'm going to do that. And then I'll do it after that. Oh, well, this child needs to be taken care of, so I'm going to do that. Right. But it's literally, and this is something else that I was recently told, and I loved how, like, either the day is going to run you or you're going to run the day. And I tell you what, my entire motherhood, the days ran me for my entire motherhood until last year when this was said to me. And I was like, oh, oh my gosh, yeah, my days are being ran by everything else but me. And I finally, the last couple of years, finally made the choice to stick to a planner. I mean, like my schedule's nuts. My schedule's absolutely nuts. I have 6 kids, right? It's nuts. And they're all older now and they all have extracurricular activities. And frankly, last year was nuts because each kid had 3 extracurricular activities. That's 4 kids that are in the age where they had extracurricular, like, music, dance, or gymnastics, or karate, or whatever. And each one of them had 3 each. So I am driving all the time. I am always on the go. And it's a lot, right? So I sat in my car and got a lot of work done. So that's, again, I could have, then there you go. There's a choice for me. I could choose to be like, well, I can't do it because I'm running my kids around too much. No, 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 no. While my son's in his karate practice, I'm out in my car and I am working, right? I'm maybe making, right. Well, let's say I'm a writer. If I was a writer, I'm writing a story, right? Or I'm creating a PDF to, you know, to give away, or creating a podcast, or whatever it is, just like creating things that could potentially bring in money, right? And again, back to the whole salve, habit healing salve that my husband and I make. We were it's up to me. I can talk, I promise. It's up to me to get it made, because we don't have time to get home from work because he works early in the morning and he comes home late at night. And then we have early morning again. It's just nuts. So, but I keep letting, again, the day run me. And so having a planner works so well. And I finally okay, I just need a planner. I don't do paper planners. I just don't. And I did a digital planner and I hated it for a while, but then I went on the app store because it was boring. The whole thing was boring. I didn't like how the calendar worked, that came with my phone. And so I was like, I don't like this. So I went on and I found a calendar, and it just was like appealed to my ADD, right? My ADHD or whatever. And I was just like, yeah. So I love this planner. I'm able to color code everything. I'm able to use particular fonts. Like it just, and so now I check my planner every day. I do planning every week and it works so well. But I still have the issue where I have this resistance for whatever reason to getting to making the salve, because life kind of, you can go through periods where you're like, yeah, I'm on top of things. But then all of a sudden things happen all at once and you feel like you're drowning and the days are running you again, right? So I'm in that mode right now where I'm like, okay, I need to just make it happen. I just need to choose it, because it's almost like I have this internal resistance to being successful. And at every corner, there will be, I tell you, at every corner, when you are trying to accomplish something and you have a goal, there's always going to be a resistance there. And then that's when you are faced with a choice. Am I going to appeal to that resistance and just not do it? Or am I going to tell resistance, not today? We'll see you later. And hopefully not see you at all, but it's good because it's helping us become, more, I don't want to use the word stronger, but for lack of a better word, stronger, mentally stronger, able to just start doing, be a I can person and an I do person, right? So when we start feeling that resistance, that's when we have a choice, especially when tiredness sets in. Like me, I'm always tired. I don't get enough sleep, because I have small children who wake up in the night. I have a son who has special needs, who sometimes wakes up and cries several times in the night because maybe his mouth is hurting or his stomach is hurting or he's hungry at 3:30 in the morning and I'm feeding him at 3:30 in the morning because his system is all different. It function. It's what it is, right? And so I'm like, so in the past, old me would have been like, I'm too tired. I had a rough night. So I'm just letting it go. But then every day was like that. I'm too tired. I'll just do it tomorrow. I'll move it to tomorrow. I'll move it to tomorrow. Well, you know what? Tomorrow never came. Tomorrow never, ever, ever, ever came. It didn't. It just didn't come. And so the only way that tomorrow will come is you start today. I started telling myself, I don't care how I feel. I'm just going to do it because I'm going to keep having this resistance, keep having these physical or emotional or mental things come up, and nothing will ever get done. It's just going to keep happening because I let it get me down. I let it run my day. Instead, now I will run the day. Like today. Today would have been a great day to say, you know what? I am tired. I didn't get enough sleep. Had some emotional things happen today. But you know what? I told myself, we're going to get on there and we're just going to make it happen, even if it's short, but I will do something. And so here I am, as short or as sporadic as it's going to be, I'm doing something. And it feels good. And I got to tell you, I actually sat here for like 10 minutes before I could even push the record button. See, so resistance was there the whole way. And it wasn't until I pushed play or record or whatever that it finally was like, okay, well, I guess you made your choice. I'm out of here, right? So we're doing this now. Resistance went away. So resistance will always be there and it's not going to leave until you finally do it. And I have these, health goals. I want to be so healthy. I want to be so strong and I want to be able to, play with my children, have energy And for women out there, you're going to totally understand, but stop peeing myself every time I run, sneeze, cough, yell too loud, or anything, or jump, okay? I I know it's fixable. Many women have done it. It's fixable. I would like to fix, after having children, my weak bladder or whatever, and it's totally doable. I just have to make the actions to make it happen. But every day when I go to do it, resistance is so strong. It's just like, I'm too tired. Oh, I don't want to do that. It just feels like such a burden. And I did that for years and years. And then I just started falling apart. Like, I knew I needed to stretch every day because I'm 42 and it's time for me to just take care of myself. And I just started feeling horrible every day. And I'm like, I got to do something. I said, well, let's start small. Let's just 5 minutes. Let's look up a 5 minute whole body strength workout, whatever, right? So, and there's 1,000 videos for 5 minutes. So I hit play, followed the video, and I felt so good. I was like, I'm doing that again. And I just found something I like. And then I started finding 5 minutes of others just to switch it up. And I just kept following and following. And then eventually I got to the point where I liked some things in one video and some things in another. So I started just taking those and then just doing my own thing. And I feel so much better every single day. I haven't done it today, unfortunately, because today ended up being like a little bit of an emergency. I had to drop things and run, but that's okay. I'm going to be doing it tomorrow and the next day, like I've been doing every day. Right. And I feel so much better for it, but I just had to get over the resistance. And also, sometimes we have to think, because like we make it seem so hard inside of our heads. Like, oh, it feels so hard. Eating healthy is so hard. Cooking is so hard. Exercising is so hard. Writing that book is so hard. It's time consuming. Podcasting is so hard. Recording live in front of people is scary. Everything's scary. Everything's this, everything's that. Yeah, maybe it is. But you know what? It doesn't have to be. I made it so much harder for, almost 6 years. Yeah, 6 years. I went without having any kind of exercise and self-care in the way of health. And I just started falling apart. So once I finally decided to just make it simple and just take 5 minutes, I was like, oh, that was easy. And I feel great. So I could do that, right? I just had to get over it of how hard I thought it was. And once I did that, boom, success. Okay. All right. On another side of this, bringing this in with, because I couldn't help myself today, we had to do this. So last week, and I haven't posted it yet, but I did a podcast on words matter. So that'll go into more detail of that. So we're not going to get into that, but words matter. So with the saying, we are the sum of all of our choices, of our life choices. And if words matter, then anything you do, say, choose to get upset about, choose to say something about within your relationship is going to either present you with happiness and peace, or it's going to give you frustration and misery, right? So you have to decide what is actually worth bringing up, saying, arguing about, doing. You have to decide that because nobody wants to be in a relationship where it's just frustration and anger all the time. I mean, you can't get away from frustration and anger. It's going to come into your life no matter what. And it's going to come in all kinds of corners, right? But then when it comes in, that's when we have the choice of how we're going to deal with it, right? My husband not putting away something or misplacing something is not the end of the world. And it's not a reason for me to start bringing up past things and starting an argument. It's not. Okay. Or somebody unloading the dishwasher incorrectly, not worth it. It's not, things like that aren't worth it. The real things that can be very damaging to your relationship, the things that, like, when your trust has been broken for whatever reason, like, they maybe they were like dishonesty, for instance, right? Those are definitely reasons that you need to talk about, but you need to talk about it in an adult manner, not in a, if your anger and your heart is broken and you're hurt, give yourself some time first to allow the emotions to ride it out, right? And then bring in logic and allow yourself to come into the conversation calmly and in a peaceful and adult manner, right? So that a real conversation can be had and not an argument. Okay? Because yes, dishonesty, disloyalty, and anything of that matter is definitely something that needs to be worked out, right? But unloading the dishwasher incorrectly and anything in that manner, or one of our spouses, again, are having a bad day and they had a meltdown, those are not reasons to be like, excuse me, la 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 la. They're not, okay? They're not. We are the sum of all of our choices. And if you desire a very happy and a very uplifting and joyful marriage, and someone who you can really call a best friend and have someone you look forward to seeing and hanging out with every day, well, then you need to really think about what you what's worth saying, what you're going to say, what you're choosing to do. For example, I was so exhausted. I hadn't had much sleep or whatever. And I knew that my husband had a really, really rough day ahead of him for work. And I hadn't had much sleep. I was so tired, but I knew that his day would go 100 times better if I got up early and I made his lunch and got everything ready for him. I knew that I would brighten his day, lighten his load, and he would be able to actually have time to be able to, like, because he's a massage therapist, right? So he gets so sore, and if he doesn't, get out his foam roller and do his foam rolling, do all his stretching, he suffers all day long. And I knew he wasn't going to have much time to do that if, he had to make his lunch and fold his linens and, all that stuff. So I got up extra early, even though I had hardly any sleep, and I made his lunch and got everything ready. So by the time he came home from seminary with our son, it was all done. And he was so grateful. He was like, "Oh, thank you." And he's just like, "I got home and I was expecting to rush and everything to try to get it ready because it's one of his days where he has to go to work earlier, and so he's really pushing for time." And so he was able to just go back to our room, and he was able to do all of his foam rolling and stretching and everything. And his day went so well because of it, just because of that one little act. I was tired, right? And I told myself I could either just sleep more and he'll survive. Everything will be fine. He'll definitely have a rough day. He'll come home, extra tired and all that stuff. Or I could just sacrifice that little bit of sleep and I could get up and I could get that done for him and make his day better. And frankly, it strengthens our relationship and makes him appreciate and love me all the more, right? It's so that one choice made a huge difference and ripple effect. So by the time night came, we were so happy to see each other. Yes, we were both tired, but he was less exhausted because of that moment. And me, I just would find a time during the day to nap. Or to even just relax, which I did, to make up for that loss of sleep. And so it's these kind of things that, like, you just have to make a choice. Because think about how, if I hadn't done it, I know exactly what happened because, well, I have made the opposite choice before. And it usually turns into like frustration in the morning. He's like leaves frustrated and rushed. And then it affects the rest of his day where it's just like tired, trying to get through the next, right? And then he comes home extra tired and extra just like, oh, I'm just done. And extra, just all that stuff, right? But that one little act just does so much, right? And then my husband, one day, I was running late or whatever, and he had gotten up before me. And I usually get my son off to school. But before I'd even gotten up, he had already washed all of my son's lunch bowl and his everything, and I think he even made his lunch. And I was just like, "Oh my gosh, you totally saved me. Thank you." And it made my day so much better. And sometimes it's not even just them saving you time. It's literally that act of love that gives you that strength that you needed. Like, just knowing, oh, he loves me, he thought about me, he cares, carried me through the rest of the day. Whenever everything else went wrong, that one moment made the rest of the day just be fine. I don't care. That fell apart. Whatever. I know my husband loves me. He did so much good for me. Just that small act, right? And in those moments when we have like meltdowns, which I've done a podcast before, so you can go listen to that one. It's a good one. In those moments when one of us might have a meltdown, if the other one could simply just be like, and because like when you're having a meltdown, you feel crazy. You're already frustrated. You're melting down, and then you feel crazy, and you're just like, great, I'm just the crazy person in the room. And it so much helps when you get that comforting word of, it's okay. I understand. I totally get it. Right? Look, ladies, if you've ever had a husband who punches a hole in the wall, that wall can be repaired, okay? It's much easier to repair a hole in the wall than it is to repair, a hole in the heart. So just be loving, understanding, and kind. And men as well, when women have their moments, we have a lot of moments. We are emotional creatures, as you well know. So just be kind, make the choice, take the path that leads you to the peace, the joy, and the love and the friendship you want in your relationship. Take that path. And in your life, with all your decisions, whatever those are, whatever dreams and goals you have, make those choices. Make the choice to do the thing and tell resistance, take a vacation because we're doing this, right? Vacation will never, vacation. Resistance will never take a vacation ever until you do the thing. So start doing the thing. Start making the choices. Okay. Start living happy. Start living the life you want, because we literally can. There's no reason not to. Nothing in your past is preventing you. Nothing is preventing you. Okay, there are people out there who have come from the worst situations, had the worst things happen to them. And you know what? They are thriving because they have made that choice. All right, I got to go now. I hope you all have a wonderful day. And I hope that this helps inspire anyone. All right, rock on.